Hello and welcome to this tutorial of how to use SwaPA, or Stupid Workaround Place Anywhere, for PS4. It's been a long time coming with this guide, I guess, on how to use it. So let's start. First things first, you can find the SwaPA in the specials menu. And just a note, I'm recording this on PC and using a PlayStation 4 controller connected to it, so it will show up weirdly with buttons as if it were Xbox, but it will work the same on PS4. So I will try to go through this systematically through all the items. This is version 4, I think, and you have the PA initiator, the full PA activator, the quick RGO PA, and its consecutive floors and rugs, and then you have the long PA, and then we have the prototypes that are currently in it, which are the tilt tools, both the RGO and the general one. But we'll start with the most basic function, which is this, the SwaPA PA initiator, which is, well, the main tool or whatever I don't know. You can do anything with it, place anything, basically anything with it. So it's the more general tool, I guess. So to start off with just the PA initiator, you can free float items, not place anywhere, but free float, and I will show how that's done. It's called the initiator. This is the post, that's the initiator. Because to use it, you initiate group select on that item, and I will come to that and show the difference in a moment. When you place it, it spawns in a PA trigger callback, which just, when you grab and place it, calls back the trigger, which is this red blob here. So if I move it, you see the trigger doesn't move with it. If you grab and cancel the button, the trigger comes along. And what the trigger does is, when it is a visible trigger box, basically around this size, something like that, and when you move into it, or actually anything moves into it, which, yeah, it's a workaround, it disables the post, move back out and move back in, it re-enables it. It just toggles that. That's all it does. Woohoo! So what you use it for is when you want to free float something. Say I place this here, I want to free float that somewhere. I grab the post, place it nearby where I can get a selection. Make sure it's the lowest thing, I will show the difference for that. Then you group select, initiating on the post, which is to hold X, the grab button, on the post. You see it's rotating around the post now. That means you initiated it on the post, not on the seats, because if you do that, it rotates around the seat, and you see the button doesn't disappear. It should. So we group selected on that, and then we move over to the trigger, which disables the post. You get a ghost highlight or whatever, and now you can see I can place this, or float this rather, anywhere. It still has collision geometry that you have to care about, so you can't place it anywhere just yet, but I can place it in midair should I want to. And now you see the post is disabled, so I move over to the trigger to re-enable it, and I can grab it and place it down again. I can call back the trigger, and that's that. That's all it does. So if I want to now move this and make it completely place anywhere, I have to go back to the, never mind that. I have to go back to the special menu, which, as you know, is where quest items are, and I have to get the full PA activator. That's to activate full place anywhere. And when you place it, you have to place it on something, like so. So you see it carries along with the item you place it on, otherwise it won't work. It spawns in this blue blob, which acts the same as this one, but in this case it disables anything that is connected to this one. So if I move in here, it just toggles the light the first time. Now it deactivates what this is attached to. Don't move it and place it on something else, because then you will never get it back. And don't scrap it either. But I just move back in, back out, back in, and then it's back. So now the process is the same. I recommend you to place the triggers somewhere away from it, so you don't accidentally trigger it when you want to. And then you place it nearby, initiate it. Then you have to do it in this order. You disable the post. It doesn't have to be in this order, but it has to be this configuration. The post must be disabled, as I showed before, and what you place the light on, or the default PA activator, has to be disabled at least once. Now I can re-enable it, so I can see where I place it, but this means it's place anywhere. You can see down in the left hand corner of the button menu that it's place anywhere. Do note that if you decorate with junk and stuff, that this will push stuff around. Could be good to know. Can be quite fun to play with. But regardless, I can place it anywhere if I want to place it there, like so. In this case, I can just jump to the trigger when I call it back, or I didn't even have to jump, doesn't matter. So I can move the post back. I can reuse this any number of times. I will show you how to delete it properly, or the safe way, later. And then just before you can reuse this as well, just make sure that you remove it, or place it somewhere else, or scrap it. Just scrap the light, not the blob. I made that mistake. Just make sure it's enabled, you can see it when you place it. So otherwise, as I said before, you won't get it back. So if I do this and disable it, it has the same trigger box, by the way, like that, so I have to jump in this case. If I do this and move it to somewhere else, I can never get this back. You see, the trigger won't do anything anymore because it's not connected to it, so now it's stuck there. And there are stuff to do about it on PC and Xbox, which have scripts, but nothing to be done as of now on PS4, so just leave that alone. Anyway, you delete that with the light, and this one, the best way is to make sure it's enabled, delete the trigger, then scrap the post, not the button. The button you should never touch, scrap twice. Like so. And that's it for that one. And just to demonstrate it one more time, the quick process and another tiny detail where the long PA initiator comes in. It's very versatile. Say I want that wall, and I want to have that in the selection as well. Many times you can just get away with this setup, just free floating it in place, because when you group select, it's more free with the clipping. But if I want to make it place anywhere, I put down that one on that one, make sure it's carried, and it's carried. So I move this over here and do that, grab it, and now this shouldn't work, but it does. It's because this piece, I will explain it later. Anyway, to make it free place, or place anywhere, I have to disable both of them at least once. I can still place it when they're, come on, move out, move in, there we go, and that one. Now we got it back. Now we can place this absolutely anywhere. I recommend to not place it underground, so you can't get the lights back, because that's a pain, or you can't get it back, and that's not good because they will always trigger disable. But what's use is the seat below ground anyway for your build. So I place it here, for example, like so, call it back so I can re-enable the post, place it there, it's enabled, I don't want to use it anymore, so I scrap that and scrap that, and both are enabled, so I can scrap that light, or store, doesn't matter. And so you have that in place as such. Okay, so here is where the second detail that can make a difference comes in, as for how to group select. Since the first one is that you must initiate the group select on the PA initiator, the post. But it's one other minor detail that sometimes will interfere, and I will show that here. I'll place down the post there, and then I'll just sink this into the ground. See, this one I can sink into the ground, that's no problem, but this one is not allowed by itself to be sunk into the ground. And when that happens, and I try to group select it using the post, it won't work. As you can see here, it seems to place there, but as soon as I disable it, it gets red. That is because the last detail is that the PA initiator must be the lowest item in the selection, and here you can clearly see that the wall is the lowest. And to solve for that in this case, unless you just, if you want it placed like that, then you have to resort to the long PA activator, which I will show in a moment. But otherwise it's just to make sure this is floated above ground as such, so that I can sink this to be the lowest selection, and when I do that, then it's free float. So if I were to, come on, yeah, you can delete it in this order as well, but if I do that, it will pop back, and it's not the best thing to delete it after that. But anyway, I don't think it should be that big of an issue. But if I sink this back into the ground again, like we couldn't use before, we have, not there, here, the long PA activator, which is a radar post, so it can be sunk much deeper. And when you place it, make sure you place it up top like that, so you actually spawn in the trigger and button accordingly, like so. And then move that back. I should have okay, if I, there we go. And this can be a bit tricky to place, but you should be able to place it somewhere. And then we can spawn it back in, like so. Now we can grab it, sync it, and group select with it. And now you see, oops. Yeah, as for precision control, you have to have the post or the pole enabled to be able to use these fine controls, otherwise it will jump. You see, if I disable it and do the same, it will jump all over the place after I release it, and yeah, that's not good. So like so, and now you can see that the post is clearly the lowest thing in the selection, and when I disable it, it gets free float again. And then it's just the same process to yeah, same process to make a full place anywhere with it. So that's the first two items, which are the general place anywhere. And now we're gonna move over to the quick RGO PA, or place anywhere, which will help significantly with a lot of items that are RGOs, or rug glitchable objects, and those are, just to explain it quickly, if I place down a floor and I place an item on here, and when I grab the floor the item follows, then these seats are an RGO. Most things are, and that's why this can be very useful. Some things that aren't, for example, are the light boxes. It's here just to show. That's not an RGO because it stays in place, so you can't use it with this. You had to use the first method I showed. And there are some other things. I don't think the conveyor belts are RGOs either, like so. And that's just a quick test to do it, so you don't have to go through the process, even if it's quick. So just to show it, this is the same thing. When built, it spawns in a ladder here instead. It's the same button and the same type of trigger. So say I move it over here, the trigger stays, and grab and cancel, the button calls it back. And in and out, enable, disable, like so. Okay, so I leave the trigger over there, then I move over and place down this. This is the quick RGO floor, and when I place it, it just spawns in the floor. Looks like this, and you can't do anything with it except snap it to. Yeah, it could be snapped to other thing, and when snapped, it is carried, like so. Nothing more to it than that. And how to use it is just to place whatever you want to place that is an RGO on this floor. Grab the ladder, disable, and now you can place it anywhere, like so. And when you have placed it at the spot, you don't want the floor there, obviously, so you just store or delete this, and this will delete the floor. Never delete a floor like so on its own. Don't do that, because that's no good. Just always use the post. And then you have the same here, but it spawns a rug instead. And how this can be useful is for the same method. I'm just gonna call that back. In case you want to, yeah, you can actually sink it down, easier to handle. Spawn a floor, snap it, and then say I want to combine these seats a little more closely than that. I can't do that, and so I place down a rug, and since the rug glitchable, place this on the rug like so, and then I can move the rug freely to clip as usual, which is the rug glitch, not limited to rugs, because I used the rug glitch for the floor. And if you see like this, I disable that, and now this is placed anywhere just like before. And this works the same. I delete the floor, and you see the rug still stays, and if I were to delete this rug like any other rug, it drops. The item drops, which is annoying, so I just delete the post, which deletes the rug, and everything is in place. This is the quick RGO, which is much faster if you're placing items like this. Or rug glitchable objects, and if you want to make a massive setup, you have to spawn even more things. This spawns 5 floors, for example. You can snap them all together and carry them however you like, and they should ignore stuff in the way like this. It doesn't care about the sign. As long as it snaps, it's okay. And this will carry the whole setup, doesn't care about that. And since it's a 5 floor, it will delete all 5 floors. And if you're stuck in the past and still want to use the traditional group select and rug glitch in combo, or as some wrongly refer to it, it's the pillar glitch, you can still use the rug. For this, just spawn a rug. That rug is like any other rug, and then, since this is more complicated, you place down another rug, place this rug on that rug so that it's carried. Yeah, right, I forgot to mention, if you move this, it calls back the rug, but it will still be attached to the object, so it's best to just leave it anyway. And I place down, seats again, and then I have to go over to get a pillar or any other object that sinks into the ground. Could be a post like so, doesn't matter. So I grab this carries that. You see this is placed anywhere. I place it in there, And if I were to drop this rug now, the whole setup would just drop and it looks terrible. But if I delete this last rug, you can see that it sticks in place and I can grab this without issue. And to show the difference, take this rug again, use place down the seats, use a regular rug, show you the difference, like so. Just use this wall because it's simpler, and do the same thing. You can see I can still clip it into anything, like so. But now what did I do? Can I delete this rug without anything messing up? Nope, it jumps. And that's why you have to use, or it's recommended to use it if you don't want to leave a trail of rugs everywhere, to use this rug, even if you're stuck in the past and want to use the group select and rug glitch together. This rug helps. And for the final thing, that are prototypes. These are tilt tools, so you can, basically tilt stuff. I'm just gonna remove this for now, and the trigger was there, like so. The tilt tool is another workaround, like everything is with PS4 at the current moment, due to the extreme model limitations, is to tilt stuff, allow you to tilt them in a weird way, but it works with most items. This is the RGO tilt tool, and we just established that these are RGOs, or rug glitchable objects, as you may refer to them. And make sure you have the RGO and you have the general ones. They act a bit differently. RGOs are simpler for RGOs, but you could use the general ones too, but they're more pain to work with. So let's show this first, which is the most usable one. You place something like this and it spawns a floor according to the rotation of this. So I exit workshop mode, I grab it, and I'll use these controls to place it at an angle. I want, I failed. I'll try again. See if that works better. No. Never mind. I'll do yeah, I can store it, and it stores that. I'll try and place down a table. That'll be good. Like so. Go over to the prototype again. There. You can place that down. It will fall automatically, and it still shows up. Come on. I really suck at this, apparently. There, finally. And the floor only matches it when you grab and select. Like so. Now I can place it. I should have done that earlier. Crap. Okay, make sure it's level again. Forgot to say, you have to place it on the floor before, so that it's carried by the floor, as you can see here. And now my tilt tool disappeared. No, it's there. Somewhere. There. Okay, so you see, now it's still carried, like so, even if I move it. So it will match the rotation of this one, regardless of where it's at. Oops. Yeah, and Sanctuary floors is terrible when dealing with stuff like this, because stuff just disappears into it. Here we go, finally. Now we just grab and cancel so that it matches it. Now this will be perpendicular to this angle. It will be placed parallel, or like that. So we take a prototype RGO mover, and you see the C up there, C and F, that's ceiling placed and floor placed. Ceiling placed are what, and now I selected something I can't play just because that's terrible. I really suck at this. I can place some stuff, as I said, doesn't work, but I can place this one. Now I can't place it on that just because of that. Oh crap. Like so. Place the floor back to normal, so we can place that one. We see it's carried. Then we can stagger it up there again. There we go. There we go. Now it's still carried, as you can see. And slight tilt, it doesn't matter. Yeah, before you do any of this floor stuff, make sure you can get a place with any of these. You see this one I can place. This is the ceiling place. It can place up to stuff. Sometimes it has to be above, like a floor, a wall height. This one is placed on floor, so if you have structural items, or yeah, not structural items because they aren't RGOs, but stuff you can place. So you can see this can place there, kind of like a floor as well. But anyway, this is easier to place, and this is a laser. So I place it somewhere it can be, and then I look where the laser beam is. You can see it here. It won't activate while I'm still in workshop mode, that's a safety. But if I go outside of workshop mode and trigger this, you can only trigger it once. It jumps and aligns with the floor. So now this is used, you can't use it again, you have to delete it. If you want to move it again, you just have to build another one. This floor can be reused for any items you can place on it, so that's no issue. But these movers are one time only outside of workshop mode. So now I can grab it, it gets this rotation, but since rotated stuff in workshop is a pain, you'll see it wobble like this. If I move around, I can still adjust, and if I move it with the bumpers, it will be all weird. So make sure to align the floor to what you want before. Anyway, that's how you rotate RGOs. And here comes the more painful thing, which allows you to rotate structural items. Say this one. I want to rotate this. Say I want to have it at like a 40-degree angle, like so. Then I have to make sure I'll use my guide, which I use this table in this case, to be on the correct side of it when I build this. Here's the general. I can't place this on the floor, but I can place it on the ceiling. And I place it like so. And then it spawns in another one like this. You can grab it and place it, and that's about it. You can't grab it outside of workshop mode. You can just bump it, and so you have to find, yeah, that's perfect. Take a wrench, something like so, and then you just have to grab it and very gently tilt it, and this will have a green light away from it to distinguish it from the non-gravel one, so you don't, from the gravel one. Oh, come on, come on, come on. That was too much. Didn't have enough leverage. Okay, can we push it a little bit like so? Come on. That was too much. Leave that there. And I'll try to do it again. See if I can place it like there. Yeah. No. Yeah. I'm confused by myself. This is great because they're my tools. Okay. Then very carefully push it. As I said, this is more of a pain, but this is the only way it works for. Come on. There we go. Stay. Yeah, that's good enough for the demonstration. And once I've done that, I have the orientation I want. I go trigger that one outside the workshop mode, and it should jump into place, like so. Yeah, you have to check the orientation. Now I messed up again, because it didn't place the way I wanted. You have to check that for every item before, but it's rotated at least. And yeah, this is also a one-time trigger. So it's spent, just deleted. But it's rotated, and you see it's still this wonky rotation. You have to get used to that, experiment with it. But at least you now have some type of tilt or rotational tool. Although limited, it's better than nothing, I guess. And that's that. That's the entire SwaPA in 31 minutes. Wow. Okay, bye. Hope you've had or learned something, I don't know. Bye.